Guys, so I thought I'd do a review on Emily the Strange, All Things Strange. Apparently this is the complete collection of the Emily the Strange comics, but on my specific copy it says it includes the first 3 volumes, which to me suggests there's more than 3 volumes. I don't know. If anyone could tell me if this is complete or not, I'd love to know. Thank you very much. So yeah, I did a review on Goodreads and it's quite detailed if you guys want to go and check that out. So I'll be mentioning some of those things, but I don't think I mentioned this in my review, but I feel like it's such a unique everything that I need to review, like each specific bit, which I'll do now, like the structure, paper quality, stuff like that. So obviously this is about Emily the Strange. I'm just going to quickly mention that I used to be obsessed with her. But you may see a little bit of biasism in my rating. I did give it a 4-star, and although it's very strange and very odd, some people may look at that and think it's not worth the 4-star rating, but I will say I may have given it that because I have had such a big influence over with her over my lifetime. I used to be obsessed with drawing her and stuff like that. I go into a bit more detail in that Goodreads review if you want to check that out. But yeah, I gave this a 4 stars, and the paper quality, as I mentioned, is super nice. It's nice and shiny. It's a graphic novel or a comic book collection, a collection of volumes, and it's just nice and sturdy and shiny and just a really attractive book to look at. Like, you can't deny that. Look at the spine. It's got Emily there. Really, really cute. Art is really interesting. It flows in and out of different kind of art styles. For example, you have like this traditional kind of Emily drawing, and then you have something a bit more sketchy, and then I'm trying to find a really, really different art style, but I bet you I can't find it now. I promise you there are different art styles, but of course can't find them now when I need them. But yeah, I just think there's so much attention to detail, like the fine prints and stuff, the end pages having these newspaper that actually has text in it, and it's quite funny to just have a little read through those. So I think this whole collection is put together really nicely with close attention to detail, which is really appreciative as a reader. But of course a lot of people are here plainly for the story. So what is it about? To be honest, I would describe this as a bizarro piece. So it's kind of like wacky, strange, a lot of random things thrown together. For me, I didn't really find it had a very cohesive storyline. Each, I guess, individual issue kind of just went from one thing to another. It didn't really have much of a storyline, I guess, except for the last issue that was like broken up into 4 different parts. That seemed to have an actual story, like a beginning, middle and end, which I thought was a weird formula considering the rest of the book didn't have anything like that in my opinion, but I still enjoyed it. A lot of the music references and stuff I didn't really understand, but they do have like interviews with musicians like Gerard Way and Marilyn Manson, and I'm not sure how legit those are, but they were kind of just in passing. I didn't really find anything particularly interesting about them, but again, I'll mention Gerard Way. I preferred his one out of all of them. I think I just whacked myself in the face. I don't know why. I think it's just because I like him as a singer, so that part stuck to me the most. The characters, it kind of pretty much revolves around Emily and her 4 cats. You get the odd passing of random characters and stuff, but they don't hold very much significance for the story in general, I guess, if you can call it a story, a collection of short stories, I suppose. I don't really know. But yeah, I really love how Emily is. Like, she's very dark and kind of like depressing, but she comes out with these super cringy jokes, but it's kind of funny because it just fits her perfectly, and it's, I don't know, the whole thing's very nostalgic to me, so I just couldn't help but love it. They have these kind of scary tale theatres productions. It kind of feels like she's talking to you through a television show, and she kind of reimagines famous fairy tales and stuff, but with her own dark Emily twist on it, which is quite funny. I particularly like the Cinderella one. And overall, this is just a really nice bit of novelty, you know, for a fan of Emily the Strange. Nice thing to have in your collection, if you have a collection, of course. But, you know, the odd person seeing this and picking it up would probably think it's a bit of rubbish, you know, but I can appreciate it. And even though the stories didn't really make sense to me and didn't really have a very big storyline or anything like that, it was still very pleasant to read and enjoyable as well. So that is my review of Emily the Strange. It probably doesn't seem as structured as my other review videos because I've got the notes from my actual review on Goodreads and another notes that I actually forgot to add to Goodreads, and I can't bother to edit it, so I wanted to speak it rather than write it. And I'm kind of like not looking at either. I'm just kind of sprouting off information off the top of my head. So I'm going to end it here before it gets any more rambly, and let me know if you've read this or if you have anything Emily the Strange-esque. I don't know, maybe I should have just left it at that. But for now, I'll speak to you next time. Bye.
Winning the darkness.